Hey, ladies and gents, and welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking with us for that short commercial break. And we are going to be jumping into the third game here between Sheikh and ErwTann, potentially the decider game of the No Deck Duel. And I can definitely reveal to you the civs now. So Sheikh is going to be playing Swedes, and ErwTann is going to be playing India. So what are your thoughts on this one, Mr. V?
I'm going to call it for India, 100%. I really we were talking in the break, India already has the advantage in this matchup. I think the Swedish economy is going to just take too much to get going. It's going to take too much wood.
Yeah.
And I think India, if you had to pick the civ that has probably the most well-balanced age 2 composition, it's India. India has everything it needs besides heavy artillery. But even then, it has high siege units, it has anti-cav, it has, it has ranged infantry, it has heavy infantry, it has good melee cav. I don't know. I'm going to call India on this one.
Right, fantastic. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. Let's have a quick look at this, and we're going to jump into it right now. So let's do it. Hopefully all is good. Fantastic. And without further ado, let's do it. So this is on the Punjab map, by the way. So this is one of the maps that we have. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to potentially the last game. It is a decider game here between ErwTann and Sheikh. And this is the No Deck Duel event, game number 3. And on the left side of the map here, we have Sheikh, a.k.a. Amma of Judah, playing the Swedes in the pink. And on the right side of the map, we have L'Inquisiteur, also known as ErwTann, playing as the Indians in the cyan. So my prediction of this game is that I think there's a lot here for India, to be honest. But I did realize actually that you don't have access to the juicy wood trickles that India have, and wood is one of the worst things in this kind of game where you don't have access to your deck. So I don't know. It's a tricky one, but as you mentioned, Mr. V, we do have India has a fantastic H2 roster. They're great in H2, and with this kind of arrangement with the no deck, it means that you're going to be definitely playing a lot in H2, which lends itself more to India. So I don't know.
I think so. For India, Swedes roster. You know that Swedes roster is actually fairly limited in age 2. So you're the India player, so you tell me if I'm wrong here, but I'm thinking maybe if you go for a really strong Gurkha Zam to deal with Karelians and possibly leather cannons and hussars, I think it'd be really hard for the Swedish to match that.
Yeah, I think even without that, I think you could just go Sepoy Gurkha. And the reason that is because Sepoy have great siege, and they're very strong musketeer. They're one of the strongest in Age 2. And you're going to potentially need to siege torps. We don't know how Sheikh is going to play this, but he's probably going to be wanting to build torps out onto the map and try and get map control. So getting a decent bunch of Sepoys to really start sieging and then transitioning into Gurkha is probably kind of the way that I would normally play it. And in this instance, I would probably just continue that same play. Even with a no deck situation, I would probably do the same.
So I guess the question is, when it comes to aging up, is being aggressive for India going to be the play, more aggressive, or fall back on the economy?
I think being aggressive, because you don't want Sheikh to start massing torps, because that's going to give him so much food and gold that it means that he's not going to need to really push out onto the map as much and try and claim as many of the hunts. So it's in your best interest to try and shut that down, I would say, as soon as possible. But he doesn't have access to the wood shipments. He doesn't have access to anything like that. So it means that getting torps is going to be a little bit slower for him. And we can see an age up already. Look at how quick that age up was. That's like the fastest age up we've had so far. So he's already sending his vills to the top and the bottom of the map to start building those torps.
Yeah, good herding as well, and pretty good torp placement as well. I like the play Swede's making right now. But is that an aggro in the middle of the fort I see?
It is
Middle of the
indeed.
map, excuse me. Oh, there it is. All right, I think your prophecy will come to pass, Widgie. I think we're going to see something aggressive for sure.
Yeah, and we can see here that he's got the mango grove, which is really good for India as well. That's a really nice. That comes obviously for both players on this map, but it's great for India because it's 5,000 wood and it's close to the TC, so it means that he doesn't have to venture too far out to get his wood, and yeah, it means he's close to the TC, so he can garrison in there nice, and it's really good for India because India rely on a lot of wood for their vills, of course. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty good, but we'll see. We see that we've got 2 vills on the Agra, so he's going to be a little bit slower in.
Has the Swede player
aging up.
spotted it? That's going to be important.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, he has. Good.
So he spotted that, yeah, and he's already got his mango grove going down. He's got 6 torps at the moment, and I would imagine quite soon he's probably going to want to think about putting a barracks down because he's going to be in a spot of bother.
Yeah. Overall, the Swedish build has been very efficient, and both players, I think you can tell the difference between game 3 and game 1. I think the players are starting to get a lot more acclimated to what this is because it's a lot tighter. It's a lot better with their builds. Definitely, they're getting the hang of it, and these are really good players. So you would expect nothing less.
Yeah. We can see here now ErwTann getting into. It's not bad of an age up, to be honest. 2 vills on the aggro. Normally, you are going to age up just sub 5 minutes. So we do now see the barracks, as I mentioned. I was going to say that he's probably going to want to think about putting one down, and he is doing that right now. And he's got another torp on the way as well. So, and you can see the torps are giving a nice steady trickle of gold. He hasn't put a market down yet or committed anything to economy. He just wants to focus on getting a batch of Corollians so he can just defend anything that's going to be coming from ErwTann. And we can see ErwTann managing to get the full batch of sepoys out as well on time. Very, very impressive.
And has he had any idle villager time? I don't think he has. That's actually really good. That's great macro to be able to get both without any trickles or shipments.
Yeah. That's very, very impressive. So he's obviously got some decent treasures on the way as well, which has obviously helped him get those 5 sepoys out in a beautiful time. But we can see here 180 HP for a sepoy and 25 damage, as opposed to only 150 HP and 19 damage. So it really shows that sepoys are an extremely powerful musketeer unit in H2. And we can see here, exactly as I said, he's going to want to start immediately getting that siege underway. And we can see here, let's see, yeah, I've got another batch of Corollians coming on the way now for Sheikh.
Yeah, losing 1 vill there, but he is defending his torps. I wonder, is the Carolian faster than the sepoy?
Yes, by 0.25, yeah. They're a little bit faster, and they have the charge ability, which can lock down the units quite effectively, and they get quite a high amount of hand attack as well. So that's probably the best way to deal with sepoys, but we do have another reinforcing amount here, which is doing a pretty good job. But that charge was not bad there from Sheikh, being able to take that out.
I think that fight was almost dead even. I mean, yeah, the sepoy, they are the more expensive units, so losing a full batch is pretty nasty. But I do like him using that charge, and it looks like the 2 sepoy from the aggro are just going to start taking down that torp in the south. Yeah, very nice.
And we can see here, we don't see a consulate or anything down like that at all from ErwTann. Like, consulates are very expensive in wood, and as I say, you don't have the trickle. You do have the enhanced wood gather for the Indians, but we don't see a consulate coming down just yet. So that's probably the next thing, because he's building up quite a bit of export, and that could be quite nice. He can go for the Otto consulate. That can get him some vills. 4 villager shipment, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, ErwTann. Yeah, ErwTann gets no benefit from the cows, because for India, the cows are there for the XP. So it's kind of savage.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that is the main hook of having those livestock. Which, yeah, it'd be. I mean, at least you could get some use out of them if you were like China, for example, because you could fatten them up, and then you could eat them, and you'd get a huge surplus of food. But looks like a fight is taking place in the north of the map. Are there some? I think. Yeah, Swede has some crossbows mixed in, which should push back those sepoy for at least a time. I'm really actually surprised to see India go this heavy on sepoy production. I really thought he would go for the Gurkha play, but maybe he will later.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get the economy. And this is the thing, because he's not getting those villager shipments, it's difficult. And Gurkhas are very expensive in gold. So if you go sepoy and Gurkha, it's such a huge toll on your gold gathering as well. And we can see now that he has just built a market. So that's a very late market for India. I know that he was probably focusing on getting sepoys out as quickly as possible. So he delayed his market. But as I say, like, that is quite a late market generally for India. And hopefully now with that market, he'll then start. You can see now, yes, there you go. Look, Gurkha production is now underway.
There it is. There it is.
So,
this actually might be a good fight for the India player, though, because he can use those elephants to take so much damage. There are some reinforcing crossbows coming from the back.
He's going to lose those Karelians, I think.
Yeah, look, we have like a double sandwich here because the India player's sandwiching Swedes, but the Swedes are sandwiching India. God, those elephants are so pesky. I hate them. I hate the
especially the stun lock, like getting stunned and stuff. This is going to be a decisive cleanup here from ErwTann, doing a great job, picking a Villoff in the process as well, and all of those Karelians are going to be going down. This puts, ErwTann in a great position. We do see another barracks going down for Sheikh now, but what do we see? Gurkha's now coming onto the field. It's going to be even more of a problem for Sheikh. He is going for the great coat, so he's going to be getting the HP upgrade on his fills, but
I can't stand those elephants. It's impossible to kite. They have so much HP, and meanwhile you have the sepoy just blasting away from behind. I cannot tell you how many games I have lost as a Dutch player because of those stupid elephants. But I mean, they're what makes India India. So I'm not here to rant and rave. But
that's fine. That's fine. We all have those civs we can't stand. It's absolutely fine. I feel your pain with certain civs.
Well, what is your civ, Widgie, as we watch the torps go down in the
what my worst civ that I hate. I hate playing against.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one. I would say I struggle with Brits, even though it is a favoured matchup if I play India. I just really struggle with Brits, also China as well. China's a very tricky matchup for me. I struggle against that recently as well. So, but I love playing China though as well. So it's kind of difficult. It's a love-hate relationship with China for me, I would say. But we can see that, now ErwTann is in a great position. He's really doing a great job on the torps, and we can see that none of Sheikh's vills are actually collecting any gold right now. They're all on food and wood, and he's transitioning or trying to transition to crossbowmen. But yeah, I don't know the answer here. I think he needs some leather cannons, but once again, you don't have the 2 leather cannon shipment. You need to build an artillery foundry.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say the answer is 2 leather cannons. And again, do you really want to invest 250 wood into an artillery foundry? Man, but leather cannons are what he needs. And I think one of the things that makes Swedes so undesirable for me is not having that skirmisher option.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea of leather cannons, and I like the idea that you can use them in Age 2, but on the other hand, they're kind of unwieldy as units, not nearly as wieldy as skirmishers. So it's looking bad for the Swede player right now.
Yeah, and we can see here that, India just doing great with the eco, starting to get the tier 2 market tax as well. I think he already got the food one in, and he's going to have a great trade here with the sepoys. We do see some reinforcing crossbowmen, though, and there are no Gurkhas to be seen. I'm not too sure where the Gurkhas are. I think they are... I think they're further all the way to the south of the map there, and that's unfortunate. ErwTann's gonna lose those sepoys there to the crossbowmen. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we can see it's not the most ideal thing having them split up. You always want to have your sepoy Gurkha together, and unfortunately, he's got a few sepoys at his base as well. They're really scattered around, meleeing the Vil there, not being able to get and now he's going to be able to get huge siege damage on that torp, and that one's going to be going down.
Yeah, the Karelians aren't going to make it in time. And see, this is what we were talking about with India at the start of the game. India, because they have such a diverse roster, they can make these really quick unit switches. And it's really tough for a civ like Swedes to handle it because they don't have such a variety of units to counter everything that India could send.
Yeah, exactly. And we can see here Gurkhas are a fantastic unit, especially compared to, they've got better range in the crossbowmen. They've got better range resist. They've got slightly higher HP. So overall, they are a better unit. They're more expensive, I would say. Crossbowmen only 40 food, 40 wood, but a Gurkha is 70 food, 50 gold. So they are more expensive, but a fantastic unit.
Yeah, the kiting ability is just it's so strong because if you look at that fight, the India player was able to take out most, if not all, of the Karelians, and I don't even know if the crossbows got off a shot.
Yeah.
Because they take time to set up the animation and they have less range. But we do see, oh man, should I even the Caravanesi, that's the one I'm going for. It's down, and that is exactly what the India player needs.
Yeah, and we can see here, now that he's got that built down, he can easily just switch out from Soa to Zambarak if he wanted to. We can see that, Sheikh's obviously now decided to transition a little bit into a stables here, but there's a lot of Soas going to be coming underway, and I don't know if Sheikh's actually spotted that. No, he hasn't really scouted ErwTann's base, his main base, really, that much at all. So he only really knows that, he's got the Agra fort here. So we do now see that, once again, Torps are going to be getting sieged. Has Sheikh actually spotted the Soas? No, he hasn't. So I think ErwTann's trying to keep that secret. We do see, though, a full batch of Hussars coming on the way, but we'll just have to see how effective it's going to be because there doesn't really seem to be any Karolians on the field right now.
No, and this is such a tough spot for Swedes. I mean, just look at the score. It's like a 3,000 score difference right now, which score is not everything, but it is a good indicator of just how far behind Sweden is right now. Trying to raid with some Hussar, that's great, but getting caught by the sowers. And if he loses that batch of Cav, he's really going to have no defense for his crossbows if some of these sowers manage to survive.
Yeah, so I mean, he's just buying some time there, I think, to try and get some of his forces to actually reinforce for the Hussars there. So, because Hussars generally do quite well against the Sowers. So we can see that. Yeah, there you go, beautiful. ErwTann just bringing the Hussars to his infantry so he can clear them up. Fantastic. And now he's got a decent force to be able to push forward. I expect a big push here now from ErwTann. He's got a really, really nice amount of units, and he has actually got now the consulate. He's got the consulate down in base. He's got the Otto consulate, and now he's got a decent amount of export. Look at that, 700 export in. Ooh. So he's going to be able to get some Vils, Delhi, anything. He's going to be able to get that from the consulate.
The Delhis to bolster the Sowars, and just to, if they could get on those crossbows, quickly take out the 3 Hussars with your Sepoy, they will just mash that group of crossbows, and it won't even be close.
Yeah, we can see, Sheikh just continuing with the kind of the Huss crossbow combination here. He's only got 10 torps, so he's not looking the best from an eco standpoint. He hasn't maxed his torps out. They're getting constantly sieged, and now ErwTann is going to decide to make the move and push forward here. So he's got a really good amount of sowers, 10 sowers, and he's got 3 Delhis. Remember, they're reinforcing. Here they come. And he's just going to get stuck in. I would just, honestly, the amount of crossbows, I would just tank it.
Just pile them in. Just pile them in, honestly.
Yeah, the Sepoys, get the Sepoys in on the Hussars.
Yep.
And just tank everything the best you can. Once the Hussars are down, boom, you've got, everything's open now to just pile in. There it is. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Piling in on the crossbows. Fantastic.
That's GG. Yep, there it is.
Fantastic. Yeah, there we go.
Man, I think... Again, it's the unit composition, right? A lot of the things we're saying at the start of the game, I'm surprised by how accurate we've been on a couple of these calls. But it was just the ability of the India player, the ability of ErwTann to switch units so quickly, and Swedes just can't do it. Not in Age 2. In Age 3, you have a lot more options with Swedes, but plus, the Torp economy started out really strong, but once the pressure came, I mean, I don't know, 100 Torp population at 17 minutes. I'm not a Swede player, but I know that's That's way below what you want to have.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And as I say, like, it's fantastic because, you know, we are going to be able to get another game for you guys, which is awesome. Because I didn't want it to end there. And I thought that, you know, looking at this, I thought that India had the edge here. Because as people are mentioning, like Crispy is mentioning in chat, the fact that you don't have access to the extra upgrades for the Crolians because, you know, that is all through the deck system, and that really, those cards make the Crolians really strong and make them shine as a unit for Sweden. But if you don't have the cards, then you have to kind of think about what else to do. And it can be difficult because, you know, Torps gather food and gold for you. So if you're going to try and go more crossbow, it means rearranging your macro in a certain way, and it can be quite difficult for Swedes to last. And that's exactly what we saw here. Great pressure from ErwTann here with India doing a fantastic job. And that means, ladies and gents, that is now 2-1 to Sheikh. So ErwTann taking the third game, and we are very shortly going to be moving on to the fourth game. This is the No Deck Duel between Sheikh and ErwTann.